3, 2, 1.
Please stand by for further details. We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
Hello to those of you who are feeling called to this reading in particular, mystery reading number 1090. My name is Elizabeth, and before getting into this reading, if you are a recurring viewer, you enjoy my work, and you would like to help support it, feel free to do so by sticking around and hitting that subscribe button down below, and ringing the notification bell next to it if you feel called to. If you do feel called to subscribe and stick around, welcome. And thank you very much for your support as well as your presence during this reading. So after I said that little intro, and before I went silent, I saw the number 111 on the timer, which is about trusting yourself and believing in yourself. I feel that it is more about your intuition in terms of trusting yourself rather than your strength in terms of believing in yourself. It could definitely be both, but I'm really feeling connected to somebody's intuition or the need for somebody to really listen to their own intuition. Sometimes the number 111 can also be a message for me to trust myself as a reader. Maybe you feel called to lead in some way. You could be struggling a little bit to use your voice, though. And I just looked down at the timer, saw the number 222. This number could be confirmation of a significant relationship or situation that has, been on your mind as you've been watching this reading so far, as little as it has been. It can also be confirmation or guidance for you to find peace and balance within yourself, to let go of someone or something, as well as your choices, and really prioritizing what means the most to you, especially in terms of, what you choose to invest in, who you choose to invest in. It feels like a general message to pay attention and to be wise with your choices. There's something else that I wanted to say at the beginning of this reading, I think, but I can't really remember it. All I'm really just thinking about is how significant, you're really picking up on something significant here, intuitively. And it could have to do with money, because the palm of my hand just itched. And I grew up with the superstition that if the palm of your hand itches, you're going to get money soon. I didn't believe it growing up, but now that I'm a spiritual person, I do. Maybe there's some other superstitions that are standing out to you. But maybe you're picking up on something here intuitively related to money or getting money soon. And I want to say, be careful with getting your hopes up. Make sure this actually, resonates with your intuition and makes you feel more confident rather than makes you feel safe. Because I feel like when it's about safety, that's more like your fear pushing you to believe that a certain message is for you when it isn't. That's the thing about general readings. You really have to discern what is meant for you and what isn't. I personally think that general readings can be helpful when it comes to learning how to use your own intuition. So even if you were wrong in interpreting a reading that you might have seen on the internet or something, it's still a learning opportunity. An opportunity for you to learn how to trust yourself more and how to see things more clearly. Maybe there really was a significant previous reading that you watched and you thought it was meant for you, but things didn't play out in the way that the reading portrayed. So maybe it would be good for you to reflect on why you thought it was meant for you. When you thought that, do you think It came from a place of confidence or fear. Let's go ahead and get into interpreting the number 1090 before I get too far into the intuitive things, only 5 minutes into the video. So the number 1, as we already said, is about trusting yourself and believing in yourself. So that's just reinforcement for you to pay attention to your intuition and to tap into your strength if you resonate with that one as well. The number 0, there are 2 zeros here, so it feels like there's a bit of a focus, quite a bit of a focus on reoccurring themes or patterns, either in spiritual communication or your own experiences. Maybe this is what your intuition is picking up on, a pattern or a reoccurring theme in spiritual communication or the things that you have been through. And I feel like it's really important for you to pay attention to these patterns or these themes, what they're trying to tell you, how they're trying to guide you, even if indirectly. The number 0 can also be about like a reminder or a confirmation to know when to put yourself first. You might resonate with the message to, trust that whatever is lost will be replaced. I associate that message with the number 8. Number 8 is also on the Strength card. So there's definitely somebody here who may need to have a little more encouragement to tap into your strength so you can have the patience and the faith and the hope that you need to get what you want and what you need out of life and the people around you, but in honest ways rather than deceptive, unjustified, selfish ways. You really got to know when to put yourself first. I feel like when you know how to put yourself first, you really know when you are being too selfish and when you're really not being too selfish, or you're being selfish when you deserve to be selfish. I do like to mention that the word selfish on its own is neutral for me. I don't perceive selfishness as inherently a bad thing, because sometimes we have to be selfish to protect ourselves, to meet our needs. It really depends on how you look at it. But with the number 9, this number is about purpose and helping the world release what no longer works. This is just a reminder that whoever or whatever you let go of or walk away from, to respect your own well-being, your own highest good. That is you respecting the well-being of others and the highest good of all. So don't feel bad in a guilty way, but if you feel bad in a grief way, give yourself the space and time that you need to grieve in a healthy way. Maybe helpful for you to remember that whenever you are grieving, sometimes it's going to feel like, you have feelings or this energy that you don't know what to do or where to go with it. And I feel that should be invested into a sense of purpose. And if you don't have one, I feel like that should be invested in finding a sense of purpose. I believe that whatever causes us the most pain or the most grief is what is supposed to inspire us to create change to prevent that pain or that grief being inflicted upon others. So with your pain, if you are experiencing grief, how can you use these feelings, these thoughts, this energy to work for you and the collective rather than against yourself and, be harmful towards others? You have power here. It's a double-edged sword. You get to decide how to use it, if it's going to be for the greatest good or the greatest evil, even if it's evil inflicted on yourself in terms of doing things, treating yourself in ways that you know you shouldn't be, but you do anyway. I think it's generally really important for everybody to understand how powerful they truly are as an individual, because of how powerful we are when we make the same decisions or, fight for the same things and stuff like that. I want to come back to talking about the number 0, these patterns, these themes, knowing when to put yourself first, Then the number 1, trusting yourself and believing in yourself. You really could be receiving spiritual communication for you to put yourself first and to really trust yourself in that choice. The Queen of Wands could be a significant tarot card for somebody. I pulled that in a reading recently, and that could be confirmation that this reading is also meant for you. But I really get this general feeling, or this message, to pay attention, trust yourself, and be wise, very wise, with your choices and how you choose to express and invest yourself. I feel like those are really important things for this number 1090. But adding up these numbers, 1 plus 0 is 1, plus 9 is 10, plus 0 is still 10, of course, and I have 2 messages for you for the number 10. The first one is confirmation of the presence of your spirit guides. They are here, I want to say forever and always, to help you trust yourself, listen to your intuition, connect with your intuition, to help you believe in and tap into your strength. They could absolutely be communicating with you right now, and you really are being called to pay attention. They want to help you know how much to give and how much to take. They want to help you find a sense of purpose and to really see the impact that you have on others. The other message with the number 10, 1 plus 0 is 1. And as we've established for like the 3rd time, that number is about trusting yourself and believing in yourself. In particular, your ancestors, maybe your ancestors, I meant to say your spirit guides, but your spirit guides, probably especially your ancestors, are coming through to encourage you to believe in yourself and to trust yourself. Believe in your strength and trust your intuition and your instincts and what they're telling you and how and where they are guiding you. Pay attention to the signs, the messages, your own experiences and what they have to teach you, how they can empower you. So there are clearly 2 decks of cards on the table right now. These are index cards that I made myself, and these are tarot cards specifically from the Magical Dogs Tarot. And what I'm going to do for this reading is draw out one of the index cards just to see what comes through. You know, this is just as much of a mystery reading for you as it is for me, so we'll see what comes through. And then I will draw out 2 of these tarot cards to see what else there is, to get more detail and more clarity about what messages you need to hear right now. So let's grab these here, set these off to the side, and shuffle out one of these index cards. Nope, we're going to start with the index cards. I felt a little bit pulled towards drawing the tarot cards at first. Should I do that? You know what? Let's just go for it. We're going to pull a couple of tarot cards first, and then I will pull one of the index cards. Maybe the idea of mirroring is significant for you. Maybe looking at yourself in the mirror or seeing yourself in someone else or some situation. Or when I think about looking at yourself in the mirror, the 2 things that come to mind is either being honest with yourself about something or accepting your flaws and learning how to love your darkness without getting consumed by it. So the first card that I have is called the Fire Alpha Male, as they write on this card, but this is the King of Wands in reverse. This is somebody who is extremely passionate. I saw the number 456. Trust that everything happens for a reason. If this is you, you feel this passion, this anger, this rage, the sadness, the depression, the anxiety, maybe even the paranoia. for a reason. This could also be somebody else that could be making you anxious. No matter whether this is yourself or someone else, it appears that someone here is struggling to control and express their frustration in healthy, constructive ways. Let's go ahead and get this other tarot card. Wow. Now we have the Fire Alpha female, which is the Queen of Wands. Now, this could be, two versions of yourself, or, one person and another person. Obviously, one of them is probably you. Maybe not. You take it however it resonates, but this Queen of Wands here is very interesting. I talked about mirroring, because the Queen of Wands, to me, and the way that I interpret the tarot, is, what's going on internally with the King of Wands. This is what's going on externally, internally, and the internal world is a reflection of the external. And the Queen of Wands is actually someone who is very confident and inspiring. They do express themselves in healthy, constructive ways with a sense of purpose. They know how to use their anger and their frustration, their rage, their darkness to work for them in the collective rather than against them and harm others, like I mentioned before. I'm really feeling strongly that this is most likely two versions of yourself. But it could also be two people. Someone here struggling to control themselves emotionally and express themselves in healthy ways. And someone here who is very confident, bold. I'm feeling that if this is two different people, this king or this male is attracted to the queen or the female. And that this is not gender specific, it's just the labels on the cards. It can be gender specific if that's how it's resonating for you, but it most certainly doesn't have to be, because masculinity and femininity, we're seeing it socially that women can be masculine and men can be feminine too. So that's what I mean by female and male, in terms of how I at least interpret these cards and these labels. But if this is just you and nobody else involved, it feels like this is what you need more of. The Queen of Wands. More self-confidence. Even your spirit guides, especially your ancestors, came through in the beginning or before. Not too long ago, I think. Saying or encouraging you to trust and believe in yourself. Let yourself have courage. Maybe there's a situation here where you're feeling fear, but you gotta let yourself move forward despite that and have courage. I want to come back to talking about if this is two different people. If you resonate with being the queen who's very confident, or it could be the other way around, where the king not feeling so confident and a little bit destructive, it feels like there needs to be healthier boundaries here. Maybe if you resonate with being this king, maybe you're somehow mistreating or taking too much from this queen, or if you resonate with the queen, you're giving too much to this king, and you have to, be willing to say no more. Let's draw out this index card now. I hope that this clarifies more if this is just you, or if this could be two other people, or two different people. For somebody here who resonates with the queen or the king, it doesn't really matter, to be honest. I feel like someone, no matter which one that you resonate with, you might have to let the other person go just because there's a misalignment in expectations, morals, values. It says it would be easier to communicate this with tarot. Maybe if you have tarot cards, this could be a call for you to use them and, really give yourself a chance to use your own intuition and to really have faith in your own judgment and decision-making skills. Since this says it would be easier to communicate with this, this with tarot, I am going to pull another one of these tarot cards. So I feel like this could partially be meant for me as well. Because the only other way that I see to interpret this is like if you have tarot cards, use them. Seek guidance that way, especially if you need it to be more specific. I saw the number 111 on the timer. Trust yourself and believe in yourself. If you have tarot cards and you use them, whatever comes out and whatever you feel it's about, you're probably right. So the last tarot card, genuinely the last tarot card, is the Tower in reverse. And the Tower in reverse, I'm just going to set that there. Seems like the best spot in my opinion. But the Tower in reverse is, first off, it's a major arcana. It's not a light energy, and there's so much destruction and instability in this card. And there could be a lot of fear. But when it's in reverse, this kind of gives the feeling of disaster avoided, or there's a tower moment, or, things are going to fall apart eventually, and this could be a warning for you to protect yourself before it is too late. Or to, whether that's emotionally or physically, I'm really feeling the message here about boundaries and how this really could be about two different people. And if it is about yourself, same message. You're going to have to protect yourself from yourself by learning how to have more confidence so you can express yourself in healthier ways that actually, make you feel seen and heard and respected. You deserve those things. We all do. The card has the number 16 on it. 1 plus 6 is 7. And the number 7 is about expanding your awareness and your consciousness and becoming wiser and really connecting with the deeper meaning of yourself or a situation or just life in general. So no matter whether this is just about yourself or two different people, it's very clear here. You got to look inward for the answers that you are seeking. It very much feels like whatever decision you're being called to make, it is your decision. It is only yours to make. So give yourself the space and time that you need to reflect on what really aligns with you, no matter who is involved or not, and then move forward. You don't have to rush into anything or make decisions you're not ready to make. I mean, of course, if there's a time limit, maybe a little different, but if there is a time limit, that's even just more urgency here for you to take a step back, breathe, think, reflect, maybe even meditate or ask for advice. But if you ask for advice, pay more attention to how that advice makes you feel rather than relying on whoever that advice is coming from. Yeah, you really got to connect with your feelings right now and be aware of what thoughts are creating these feelings and how they are influencing your decisions, or how they should influence your decision. And as a last message, I just saw the number 444 on the timer. It's very clear here your ancestors are confirming their presence, because I see the number 4 as being connected to ancestors and stability. With all of this instability here, all your ancestors want for you to right now is to feel safe and secure, and they want more predictability for you in your life. So this is encouragement and guidance from them for you to find that, to give yourself what you need at home, at work, whatever it is you need to feel safe and secure and protected and taken care of.